Abandon all hope, all ye who enter here.
I didn't survive the class, but I can tell you how to.
Well, to survive is simple. Just do all your work and pay attention and just listen to Miss Lamberty.
Definitely organization.
Do little assignments and it will make a pretty big impact on your grade and balance out the work that you don't do as well on or that you're not doing.
And doing your work. Do every single piece of work that she gives out to you because everything counts. And it's really good to turn in your work because if you turn in your work, you get the grade. So
study for the chapter tests so you at least know what's going on and don't end up guessing on half the questions.
You have to pay attention in class and follow directions.
Do all your work and do it at a time because if you don't, then you're screwed basically.
You pay attention and take notes on the PowerPoints because that's they contain what's usually tested in the chapter tests. Error test.
You need to take notes and pay attention.
Pay attention when Miss Lamberty does her PowerPoints because they really help on the chapter tests and error tests and any type of test and essays especially. Her DBQ PowerPoints will teach you how to really write those essays and get that 5.
Miss Lamberty hands out these excellent terms to know. Do these terms because they balance out your test. And they're really helpful overall. And
use the online resources, whether it's looking at the notes or taking a few tests.
It's a good idea to try to do all your work. Don't wait till the last minute.
So that you don't get too stressed out. I would always try to wait until the day right before the class, and then I'd be working into the night, and then I wouldn't get enough sleep and all that stuff.
Come to class. If you don't come to class, you're not going to get your work, and then that's when all your grades is just going to fall.
Basically, you just want to keep up with everything and read the textbook, read all the chapters, and try to good memorization skills and stuff.
You read the chapters in the textbook. I know they're long, and you may think it's kind of boring, but they have all the information you need to pass this class.
You don't have to read all the chapters, even though it is advised to read all the chapters.
And make sure you do your maps so that you know the areas and what you're dealing with on the chapter test.
Just do your work and read chapters if you can. I didn't read the chapters, but you should read them. And go to Miss Lamberty for help if you ever need help, of course.
At the beginning of the year, I read the chapters, and the tests were really easy. But then I kind of slacked off and decided not to read the chapters, thought I'd get good grades, and just read the online chapters, and I got C's and D's.
Definitely go onto the textbook website and do the quizzes, and there's 2 different kinds that you can do, and they really help you for the unit tests.
Using the online resources, I never did, and I feel I was shooting myself in the foot, so, use those.
I would say take as much time as you can outside of class, because for AP World History, at least 75% of the work you have to do will be at home.
All you really need to do is really focus on keeping the information laid out. Make sure that all the information from the lectures, and I reviewed the PowerPoints that she has, and they're all really helpful.
Detailed notes are the best because they really, when you're writing the notes, that's when you learn the most, writing it down. And I think if you write really detailed notes, then you can learn the details of the information a lot easier.
You could do well in class by asking questions and going for help after school or at lunch.
Do well in the class, you have to study really hard. You have to do all your work, and you have to go see Ms. Lamberty if you need help, and do well on the essays.
Study for the chapter test, and if you can't study, you can go get the outline off the textbook website and do the essays and get help on the essays.
I would definitely read the book and definitely use online resources. Coming in to help with Ms. Lamberty is always a good idea. She always has really good advice.
Like before any test, if you want to make sure you get a good grade on it, you should go online and take the book quizzes. Those really help. You should read the chapter definitely.
Go to Ms. Lamberty every time you get a chance to during lunch, after school. She's throwing a study session go.
Turn in as much work as possible. I know that I didn't turn in a lot of work, and my grades suffered as a result. So do all the projects, do well on the tests to the best of your ability, because there's a lot of tests, and that's going to be the biggest grade that you're going to have.
You should take the previous exams from other years, and when you're doing the essays, you should always do your DBQ last and do the CNC and the CCOT first.
Study. Like, and don't overwhelm yourself, because that will in turn result in bad things. Basically, just study what you need to know. Practice your essays. Even if you're not good at them, just keep practicing. Practice makes perfect.
Look over all of your terms, so make sure you compile them throughout the year so you have them all for right before the exam. Don't study the night before. Study for weeks before. The night before, get a lot of sleep. The night before that, get a lot of sleep. Make sure you eat a good breakfast the day of the exam, and just use all the time that's available to you.
Studying for a long time. Don't start studying right before the exam. Studying for each chapter test really helps you study for the exam in the long run. So I think that's a better
Definitely study and having confidence in what you know, and not freaking out when the test comes along, because even though it is a very long test and it's kind of hard, if you know your stuff, then it'll come pretty easy.
I think on the exam is where it pays off the most to have done the optional assignments. Like when I went to study, I didn't have my old, we had charts that we filled out earlier in the year, terms, everything like that. I didn't save everything, I didn't complete everything, especially things that were optional. And those things are probably the most helpful study tools in my opinion, because they're like summaries of everything you need to know. I went back and I had to make basically my own charts again to try to organize my thoughts, and it's just a lot of unnecessary work that cuts into your actual study time.
The biggest thing is make sure you come to class ready and don't vex Ms. Lamberty.
At the end, she gives you like 500 terms, and if you know that your group members aren't reliable, just do 40 on your own, because you'd rather get an A on your own than an E with everybody else, and it's better than being lazy.
Don't confuse Islam with Muslims.
Choose your group members very carefully.
Ms. Lamberty loves chocolate, and
don't slack off, because it will like catch up with you. You probably think it won't catch up with you, but it will.
Ms. Lamberty loves imported milk chocolates. I got her the Lindt. Is that how you pronounce it? But anyways, they're extremely good. They're these little circular balls, and they're really expensive too.
Don't irritate Ms. Lamberty.
Last but not least, do not give her your parents' email, because it is not a lie. That is a lie.